Hi, good morning, class 5. How are you doing? So, I hope you guys are doing good, great, and happy and full of energy. I hope you're enjoying your life. So, we are back to SST again. So, yesterday I was doing SST with you, and so it was today is Friday. Yesterday was Friday, sorry. Yesterday was Friday, so today is Monday, and we are doing this Subhash Chandra Bose part. So we'll come to page 104. Okay. Subhash Chandra Bose. Yesterday I had given you an explanation. I'll give you some more explanation today. After that, I will read his part which is there in the book, and after that we'll go to Sarojini Naidu if we have got time. Okay. So I'll just keep the book aside and we'll go to my notes where we have Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay. So yesterday we were there till where was he born? I had told you how many. Like I can repeat that again. He was born on 23rd January 1897, Cuttack, that's in Odisha, Bengal Presidency, now it's in Odisha. Died on 18th August 1945. Cause of death was third degree burns because he had an air crash, and his wife's name was Emily Schenkel, and his children were Anita Bose Pfaff and Prabhavati Devi Datta was his mother. Father was Janaki Nath Bose. Education was Baptist Mission Protestant Church in Cuttack, Ravenshaw College, Cuttack, Scottish Church in Kolkata, and Fitzwilliam College Board in Cambridge, that's in England. Okay, so his early life we have come to know about his, and what happened we come to know. I told you about his early life which was going on, isn't it? So the Indian National Congress, he took out a newspaper called the Swaraj. Okay, his mentor was Chittaranjan Das. I want to tell you about his illness, about his wife, which happened in Austria. Okay, from during this time Bose was traveling to Europe in the 1930s, and his wife had got sick, and from 1937 to 1940 was the Indian National Congress which he was there, and what do you say, he was heading to Madurai on an invitation of Muthura Malinga Thevar to a mass support for the forward bloc. He passed through Madras and spent 3 days at Gandhi Peak. His correspondence reveals that despite his clear dislikes for British, he was deeply impressed by their methodical and systematic approach and steadfast disciplinarian outlook towards life. In England also he exchanged future ideas for India with the British Labour Party. He did not like them, but he liked their system. He believed that independent India need a socialist authoritarianism. So if I tell you these words, you won't be able to understand. Actually, he wanted India to be very organized type of thing. Okay, and he was very great in disguise. He used to dress up. No one used to recognize him. Once Bose's arrest was subsequent release set at the scene for his escape to Germany via Afghanistan and Soviet Union. A few days before his escape from the place, he sought solitude. He was alone on this pretext, avoiding meeting British guards, and grew a beard. In late night, 16 January 1941, the night of his escape, he dressed as a Pathan, like a Musalman Pathan, brown black coat, fez type coat, and broad pajamas to avoid being identified. Bose escaped from under British surveillance from his Elgin Road house in Kolkata also. accompanied by his nephew Sisir Kumar Bose, later reaching Gomor railway station, which was then in Bihar. He went to Peshawar, he went to Akbar Shah, Muhammad Shah, he went all around the world, all the parts where he had tried to just help to India get free. I'll tell you one other incident what happened when he journeyed to Peshawar, where he was met by Akbar Shah, Muhammad Shah and Bhagat Ram Talwar. Bose was taken home of Abad Khan, a trusted friend of Akbar Shah's. On 26 January 1941, Bose began his journey to reach Russia through British India's northwest frontier, that was Afghanistan. For this reason, he enlisted the help of Mian Akbar Shah, then a forward bloc leader in the northwest frontier province. Shah had been out of India en route to the Soviet Union and suggested a novel disguise again. He wanted to change again his looks for Bose to assume. Since Bose could not speak one word of Pashto, Pashto is the language of Afghanistan, Pashto I guess, yes. Pukhu Pato, it's a Afghani language. It would make him an easy target of Pashto speakers working for the British. For this reason, Shah suggested that Bose act deaf and dumb and let his beard grow to mimic those of tribesmen. Bose's guide Bhagat Ram Talwar, unknown to him, was a Soviet agent. So he was very fast in his action. He is a terrific person. Okay, so this is all about him, and I'll just read the book now and let's see what else is there in it. Okay, so it will be easier for you, because if I keep on telling my notes, it will go over your head, you won't get it. Subhash Chandra Bose, or Netaji, as he was better known as Netaji, as he was better known, was born 23rd January 1897 at Cuttack in Odisha, now Odisha. His father Janakinath Bose was a lawyer. Netaji attended a missionary school, Christian school there. He studied in the Scottish Church College in Kolkata and went to England in 1920. After being successful in the Indian Civil Services examination, but he resigned in 1921 and went on to become an active freedom fighter. Netaji became the president of the Indian National Congress twice. He was sent to jail in Mandalay and Rangoon. Since he was very sick in jail, he was released and put under house arrest. He was a master of disguise and escaped many times from the police. After many adventures, he managed to reach Berlin. Didn't I tell you some time ago? The Second World War broke out in 1939. Germany, Italy and Japan had attacked Britain, France and Russia and other countries. Netaji wanted to help Germany and Japan for India's independence, as they were Britain's enemy at that time. One of his most motivating slogans was, "Give me blood and I will give you freedom." Give me blood and I will give you freedom. He became the leader of the Indian National Army, or the INA, an army of Indians who had been prisoners of war or had worked outside India. Netaji felt that by peaceful means Indians would not be able to get freedom, as the British would not leave the country without bloodshed. He encouraged women to participate and formed the Rani Jhansi Bahini, led by Captain Lakshmi Sehgal. He started using slogans such as Jai Hind to encourage the Indians. Songs were also used for this purpose. It is generally believed that he died in an air crash in 18 August 1945. Now he formed the Rani Jhansi Bahini. We were reading about Rani Lakshmi Bai Jhansi. He gave the name Rani Jhansi because Rani Jhansi was very powerful. Lakshmi Bai was very powerful, the Rani of Jhansi. and that's why everyone, when they want to name some women or some tough people around, they say Jhansi Ki Rani. And it was the captain Lakshmi Sehgal. He started the slogan as Jai Hind and Mujhe Khoon do, main tumhe azadi dunga. That's the slogans they started, and songs were also used for this purpose. But it is still not yet known that how did he die. So we just assume, it is generally believed, we believe that there was an air crash on 18th August 1945 and he left this world. Okay, so this is done. So your websites are also ready now, your classes are going on, and you will be getting all homeworks all updated. Please keep on checking the upload site for your homeworks. Okay, there will be all multiple questions that you have to find your answer and get it done. So you have to work on your own also. I'll be posting it, but you have to find your answers. I'll get all answers done, I'll post it up for you. You have to find your answers and write it down in your copy and keep it. Your job is to fill in the blanks, and rest, all the objective types are yours. Answer the followings will be mine. Okay, that's my duty. I'll do it for you and keep it for you. And coming back in the next video.